What's good, everybody? It's the Real AG with the Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast, and Week 5 is here. The honeymoon is over for the squad you drafted. You're either a certified genius or you're scraping the waiver wire trying to find that last-minute savior. And just with the compounding injuries we've seen this season, as well as the first round of bye weeks we have here in Week 5, I know some of you out there are pressed to make some tough calls with your lineup. That brings us to another round of ballers or stallers, looking at my stardom and situms for Week 5 to help you make those informed decisions and ultimately start the guys that are going to ball out and avoid the ones that will stall out in Week 5 and beyond. So getting right into it, ladies and gentlemen, there's my ballers for Week 5. At quarterback, I have Jared Goff going against Cincinnati. Come on. Drake May against Buffalo and Tua going against the Panthers. My running backs, I got Breece Hall going against the Dallas Cowboys lackluster defense. We got lead dog in Cleveland, Quinshon Judkins, going against the Vikings, who just gave up hella points to Kenneth Gainwell overseas. Then we have David Montgomery, that 1-2 punch I think is going to feast against a porous Cincinnati Bengals defense. My wide receivers, we got Quentin Johnston continuing to do what he's been doing all year. In a good matchup against the Commanders. Stephon Diggs, who I think is poised for a breakout revenge game against his own squad. And Chris Olave, who I think is going to bounce back in a big way against a pretty suspect pass defense for the Giants. And my tight ends, we got Sam Laporta, Jake Ferguson, and Tommy Trimble to round things out on the ballers. And, taking the good with the bad, we got to look at those guys we want to avoid, the ones that are going to stall out. That's right, the stallers for Week 5. We have at quarterback Geno Smith, Bo Nix, and Carson Wentz. I mean, Geno is a turnover machine right now. I do not like the matchup that he has against the Colts defense. Bo Nix, I think that Broncos-Eagles game is just going to be a boring defensive bout, and Carson Wentz is kind of coming back down to earth. And the Cleveland Browns defense is dirty AF. At running backs, we got Chase Brown, Jordan Mason, Isaiah Pacheco. My wide receivers, we got Brian Thomas Jr. going against the Chiefs defense. We got Chris Godwin going against the Seahawks. And Calvin Ridley, I think, is pretty much a permanent staller at this point, just with how he is involved in that offense. And then to round things out, the tight ends, we got David Njoku, Dallas Goedert, and Mark Andrews as the ones I'm avoiding this week. But that wraps up the ballers and stallers for Week 5, ladies and gentlemen. As always, please like the video, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to that channel.